Welcome in to episode 18 of our Humankind Let's Play series. Excited to get things rolling here. We are kicking things off with our first turn in the early modern era, the very end of the last episode. We moved up and we chose the Muggles as our early modern era culture. Excited. We thought, you know what? Industry is a little bit low. Let's go with a builder and industrial based culture. And so that's what we've done. We've gone with the Muggles. If you would like to catch up on the entire series before you get to this episode, episode 18, the link down in the description below is for episode 1. We start at the very beginning, we set up the game and play all the way through. It's kind of in an over-explained style, so if you haven't seen one of our episodes before, I do walk through all my strats and things. That's why we're kind of progressing along relatively slowly, but hopefully you're enjoying the content. If you are, please feel free to hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I post new Humankind videos currently in this Let's Play series every Sunday afternoon. Got some other stuff cooking, a couple of Civ 6 videos that I've got cooking up as well for once this Let's Play series ends, and I'm working on our next series for Humankind that's going to come out after this one as well. Again, we'll finish this one out, but I just want to keep you guys apprised as to what's happening on the channel and what you can expect going forward here on the YouTube for Maddish Moose. As always, you can join us live at twitch.tv/Maddish Moose. I stream Humankind primarily on Friday nights, but also I stream every weeknight, and Civ 6 is on Mondays if you're a 4X player. Both of those games might be of interest to you, so you can stop by and see us live if you'd like to. Let's jump into the game. Okay, here's our capital. We just moved up. We actually haven't even done our first turn. We're on turn 101. We're in the early modern era as the Muggles. We have a substantial lead in fame, but we're not playing on a particularly challenging difficulty. We wanted just to make sure we were being able to execute on strategies and make appropriate choices and kind of demonstrate all of the strategies and things like that. I've played a couple games at the Humankind difficulty and done pretty well, and so I've tried to translate some of those strategies and thoughts into this commentary as well as we're playing this game. So let's take a look at what we're doing. If you recall, again, we just moved up. We wanted a little bit of extra production, which we need. We have a bunch of one-turn scriptoriums, because we were the Franks in the last era. We have a bunch of one-turn scriptoriums that all of our cities are currently finishing off. We're going to cruise through that pretty quickly. The other thing that we need to do relatively quickly is we need to get our wonder built. So we are currently, I believe, building Notre Dame. And so anyone who's not finishing up their scriptoriums, and we might even put this in earlier because we want to get Notre Dame built because we are trying to go for a particular strategy where we then also choose Machu Picchu, I believe, in the same area. It's going to go over here because we also have Angkor Wat here. So in the same city, we're hopefully going to have Angkor Wat, which increases our food. We're going to have Notre Dame, which increases our faith. And I believe Angkor Wat increases base off of faith as well, or something like that. We'll have to look into the strat again. I can't remember exactly what we were doing. And then Machu Picchu is going to take the food and distribute the food out to our other cities because that's what Machu Picchu does. So that is the it's a three-tiered strategy with wonders that we're trying to pull off. So that's something that we're doing. So we want to make sure we get this built so we can get the claim in on Machu Picchu when we get to that point. We're also maneuvering our armies up to here. We're trying to get armies up here to get military stars, and also because we're going to try to get a foothold on this continent, we are looking towards this. We're pouring money and influence into Tawanakans in order to try to assimilate them into our empire. So we're going to assimilate this city-state, then we're going to attack and burn down these two city-states in order to get hopefully some military stars, and then we will connect all of this together into this city here. That is the current plan so that we can get one added city in on this territory. The land we're claiming we're now being hyper-aggressive in claiming of that land. Any further land that we claim will have to be through war with another player. And so that's not typically how I play, but we might do a little bit of that if we don't get enough war up here. We're sitting pretty to kind of just cruise the rest of the way in this game, just kind of sim it through because we got a really, the Ascete culture ability was a little broken when we used it before the patch. So we're kind of sitting pretty on that regard, and it really helped us to get a bunch of early settles in. The New World was also right next to us, so that's kind of where we're sitting right now. I think what I'd like to do, because we have a bunch of scriptoriums here, I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to go ahead and put Notre Dame in several of our cities here. Again, we don't want to remove any of the scriptoriums from our queue, so we're just going to click into Notre Dame. We're going to click into it and then move it up and then keep those in our queue. If we remove those from our queue, we would never get to build them again. They would not finish. They would just be gone because we are no longer the Franks, so we can't actually build these anymore. As long as you have one turn of production into them and they sit in your queue, then you are good to go. Okay, that gets us one turn Notre Dame, so we can make our claim on Machu Picchu in the next era. So we're not actually upset about that. We're actually liking it. In fact, we can go ahead and look at our wonders here, and we can actually see we don't have enough to get it right now, but Machu Picchu does all of your other cities gain food equal to 50% of the food produced by Machu Picchu's city. So we really want to make the Machu Picchu city as big as possible. Again, Angkor Wat, yeah, is +1 food for faith. That's why we've paired it with Notre Dame. So Angkor Wat gives +1 food for faith, and Notre Dame gives us +1 faith for research technologies. So as we research techs, we're getting more faith. As we get more faith, we're getting more food. Then we're going to use Machu Picchu to take that food and distribute it out across our empire, maximizing the use of those 3 wonders. If you can claim all 3 of them, it is a very nice strategy to use. However, it can be very tricky to get all 3 of those claims in, especially if you're playing at the higher levels of the game. That might be a problem. But that's the strat we're going to execute. So we'll have 1 turn on that. Let's go ahead and move our armies. This guy is actually in the land, and that is an aggressive free people. So we do want to be careful with this particular guy because he could get attacked by this free peoples. So what I'd like to do is actually potentially move him down into Burley's land, because I think that we could, if that gets attached, we might be able to upgrade him. So I'd like to move him towards one of my armies, try to combo him into one of our armies. So just go ahead and move him down here. I think these guys can actually jump up now. Perfect. And then we can actually just bring these guys right in. But it's unfortunate. These guys are going to move, obviously, into safety on the coastal shore. Take care of that. This guy... What's this guy doing again? Oh, yeah, he's going to try... He's going to attempt a crossing. I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if that's going to work very well for him, but let's at least get him into position. Our shortest route might be here. We've got some bad water. It's going to be a tough crossing without 3-masted ships, but we're probably close to 3-masted ships. Yeah, we can actually have 3-masted ships. In fact, let's just check out our tech right now, since we're actually, be our first tech. And we don't have halberdiers is not going to help us in particular. Neither will colony plan, but 3-masted ship will help us a great deal. And so we may want to just grab that. Now, arquebusiers, if that is indeed how you pronounce that, would also be useful for us. So that's something to think about. We would be able to get our saltpeter online as well. And our special unit, our Gagnals, which are pretty powerful, are also located there. So if we want to go to war, that's a big one. Here's the biggest one in this particular era, though. Patronage, because it gives you access to luxury manufactories, is the #1 target when you get into the early modern era. You want to get to patronage as quickly as possible and put as many luxury manufactories down as you can. A, fame bonus. B, huge stability bonus. And then additionally gets you additional money as well. So luxury manufactories are a very big deal if you can get them. Obviously, you have to have a lot of the resource. So only 1 luxury manufactory for each resource can be built in a game. And so having access to them will get you the ability to build these. You have to have 1 of that resource in your territory. You can kind of trade for the rest to bring them in, but you have to have 1 of these to be able to build this. But patronage is really big. However, I think we're going to go 3-masted ship first, just to get 4 of our armies across. We're ahead in tech, so I think we can tech 3-masted ship and then into patronage. Normally, probably going to beeline patronage in this era. This army is the one that we made the unfortunately bad maneuver with next to Hunza. We did get the kills. We did get the military stars out of that. And so that worked for us. We were able to do that. I did not realize the city was part of the fight when I engaged. From the first engagement, it was going to be just the army. And then when I maneuvered to the second engagement, we got flanked hard by Hunza and the city, because it was their free peoples we were fighting. And that turned out kind of unfortunate. So I do think we're going to try to move this guy into our war zone. just because we might as well kind of get him out into the ocean. We'll cross him and get him to join our army, because we don't really have anything else for him to do down here in particular. We'll have him hold because he can't quite get into the water. And we want him to cross kind of right in here. So that's probably fine. So we'll have that wait, and then we will continue on. We have a ton of gold, so what we might want to do is do a quick check.
Wondering if you're a partner or an impediment.
We can make an intelligence coalition. We might as well propose that since we have the ability to. That's going to be refused.
This proposition
fine.
should
That will
be
build
in
more
all
support
our
for us,
best
which is never a
interests.
bad thing to have if they refuse something. And the real question is any of this...
That is very
Okay. There is some
uninteresting.
iron we can buy. Let's just buy it so that we have it.
Interesting.
Just buy some copper as well. We have quite a bit of gold, so take advantage of that. We want to buy anything that Nox owns, which we probably did already over here. Just a quick check. We're not going to buy it secondhand, but like, all right, so gemstones, that's expensive, but you know, we have gold to spare currently, and obviously trade routes are good. Check.
Perhaps
Here, we don't
we
even have a
have some
I would
common
love a
ground.
if at all possible. For trade. Okay.
I
not
have
gonna
a
get that.
proposition for you.
But we already
I
have.
think you'll like it.
We already have everything.
There's just no way to make this
Oops.
work. I do not accept.
A
We
pleasure
treated
to
here.
see you
We'll
again.
propose this.
We
We'll
would
get
all
confused.
benefit
That's
from
fine.
growing closer.
We've traded for
don't you
everything
think?
with Burley.
Neither interesting
Fine.
nor
All those of honest intent may have my ear.
Do we have? We don't have a custom.
We would all benefit
Fine.
from growing
Still
closer,
buy
don't you think?
all these things. I think these trade
There's
routes
just
got
no way
broken
to
at
make
some
this
point.
work.
That was expensive.
I do not
Salt is very
accept.
good. Take it.
How do you do?
And
In every sense of the question.
pretty much just gonna buy access to it. That's of course. We'll definitely take that. Any sage, and the rest of these again are probably ebony. Kind of expensive, but we'll take it. It's important to go through these every once in a while because you get such good benefits from trade if you have the ability to get stuff, even if because they might have put a new extractor on or a trade route might have been broken. And then you need to rebuild it or something like that. So I always like to check these, not a ton, but like often enough that you're not missing out on an obvious resource or anything like that. It gets tricky, right, as I've mentioned, when they're playing a merchant-based culture because they can purchase all these secondhand and then sell them secondhand. So you have to go through quite a bit of things, but all of that usually plays out in the end. And you could just start to tell, like, I've pretty much bought everything from this. You could always check, you know, just to make sure, but... Okay, we checked all those, so that's good. Spent a bunch of our money. We have more money. I like to hold a little bit in reserves in case any of our cities run into trouble. All of our cities are looking really good right now, but in case one of them, like Carol, could run into food trouble soon, and so holding a little bit of money just in case we need to, put in like a district or something to save a city from starvation or something like that can be very useful, and so we probably want to pay attention to that as well. We also use them to gold buy in our manufactories when we get those luxury manufactories. So that's something to be saving money for when we get patronage research. We kind of want to be able to buy in those luxury manufactories rather than build them, because that's going to get them in faster and make sure we get the claim on them before someone else is able to build them as well. All right, let's move ahead. There's a builder star, and we can now claim a
Notre Dame.
There's no
An
stop.
impressive achievement built at a time when scientific inquiry and growing faith marched hand in hand.
Indeed. All right, a heresy, and Caral is near starvation. Yeah,
Death from
So
starvation.
they grew,
It seems that these are the times that
and now we're
try
at minus 4
people's
food. So we have
dietary
4 turns to
habits.
get our food up in the city. Now, let's see. We have every food infrastructure in, so we're kind of pressing on food. So basically, the only thing to fix this is through building a farmer's quarters or potentially harbors. I wonder which harbor do we not have in? Okay, that's a 21 food harbor. Let's check really quick what this would offer us. 27. So let's put in the farmer's quarter because that's going to get us an extra farmer's slot. So it gets us 27 food from the quarter, but an extra farmer's work slot, which is going to increase our food even further. So we do have value here. This is also adjacent to 2 of our nematons, which is going to be really good. So we'll put this in this time, and then I think we got to think about that harbor at plus 21 food. I think that's probably going to be worth it at some point here. So let's go ahead and get that in. And let's go ahead and fast track that. So 3 turns, that'll save us from starvation, essentially. So that's what we're going to do there. We also want to get that claim in. So before I forget, lots of good wonders in this particular era. Top copy palace is nice. Plus 100% production towards any shared project. This comes in very handy in endgame because plus 100% production towards any shared project is all of your space race projects. So if you're trying to push for that space race finish, that space race end, top copy comes in very, very handy in order to get that done. Plus you get the plus 5% industry. Top copy is a very potent wonder. Santa Maria del Fiore, I believe, is one of the new wonders. So this is a pretty cool one. Very famous location there in Florence, Italy, I believe. So you get plus 20 faith, plus 40 stability, plus 10 influence per territory under religion's influence on territories following your state religion. So a big influence boost. So if you're still struggling, excuse me, for influence, this would be a great one to get. I am not, obviously, and most people probably wouldn't be at this point in the game, but it could be valuable if you wanted to. Taj Mahal is going to boost your money by a ton, plus 50% money on settled city. So if your stability is looking sweet, and you're looking pretty clean from a stability standpoint, settled city is, I believe, 100%, or maybe even the 90 to 100. Don't quote me on that. But that's plus 50% money. That's a pretty substantial money bonus, so Taj Mahal could be very useful. You have St. Basil's, which gets you plus 1 faith per district and plus 20 faith. And so Basil's is nice if you're going for a faith game. It would actually probably be good to put St. Basil's in our Machu Picchu city as well. So if we can get Machu Picchu out and then also combo it into St. Basil's, because our faith is going to be turned into food because of Angkor Wat. So I'm wondering if St. Basil's will then also contribute to that. I think it would. Comment in the YouTube video comment section if you have thoughts on that. I think that St. Basil's would contribute to the faith base, and the faith base is being converted into food through Angkor Wat, and so that would then contribute to our Machu Picchu distribution of that food. But we want to claim Machu Picchu first. We'll go ahead and put that claim in. It is getting expensive because we've built quite a few wonders. We're going to go ahead and claim Machu Picchu. And we actually probably should put some build time into Machu Picchu because we do have Corral struggling on food. And so we'll probably take some of our cities and go ahead and move them into production on Machu Picchu because that is... Oh, we have to pick a spot. That's right. But we only have one spot for this. We want it in this city, and Machu Picchu has to go on mountain. So these 2 mountains are an option. This single mountain is also an option, which would not look bad there. That's it. That is it. So we have this single mountain, but it's obviously adjacent to something already. This one's not going to get us too much, but it's going to look... This one's going to look real pretty if we put it here. I get the feeling. It doesn't exploit very much, though. I wonder if we should put it on the single mountain tile. This is pretty cool looking, but it's not going to exploit very much for us. Is this one really going to exploit that much for us either? Kind of the same gig. This one is technically speaking better, so I think we're going to stick it there. I think I'm going to put it on this single mountain. So we're going to Machu Picchu this in the snow. It's probably going to look absolutely gorgeous on this mountain. I hope, and so we'll get a couple of exploits out of it. It's a little more exploits than here, because it does exploit the tiles around it. It's going to get us this 3... So this is a 3-1-1. It's a 3-1-1, whereas this is a 3-4-5. Because we haven't exploited these yet. Plus a 1 over here. I think we stick it here. Let's do that. Okay, we're going to do that. And we should put a couple of cities on it. Nemosos can go on it. Shift it in there. Let's check other cities really quick. So we got Watu on it already. Hulaban, I think, needs to go on it. And that gets us to 10. We could technically put Paral on it. Let's see what happens if we put Paral on it. It's down to 6 turns, but see, we still lose a person before that food comes through by doing it that way. So I think what we'll do is we will push this above it. and get that farmer's quarter in first, and then put the production from Corral into Machu Picchu. That will be a good combination. So everyone should be working Machu Picchu now, except for Corral, which is kind of what we're looking for. Okay. This guy is... Well, we have 3-masted ship on next turn, right? So let's set him here. We'll have him wait, and we'll have him cross from there once we have 3-masted ship. All right, this guy's going to join this army. This army is going to move to this land. This guy's going to jump over. Actually, combo these probably a little bit better, rather than having them be split. What's this guy doing? Get him just sitting here? I think we want him... Just need to get him down into our territory, right? So let's just run him this direction. Try to get him healed up. These guys are going to jump in the water, join our forces for our war. Oh, and Parisius has nothing to do either, so let's go ahead and put them on. Bring it down 8 turns, and we will move along. We have a ton of influence that we're not spending. Well, really have nothing left to spend influence on. You can see down here we have 0 enactable civics. That's something to check. If you have a lot of excess, if you have a bunch of excess influence, look at your civics. That's always a good choice. All right, 3-masted ship has been researched, so we can get our swordsman back in the water now. Nice. Let's see, how do we want to run this attack? This, just from this edge, is probably our best bet. We're going to start running our units in this direction. This guy, this way. And this guy's going to start his trek across the ocean. He should be able to make it across. Should be able to upgrade him once we get him into maybe Burley's territory. We'll have to see if we have that treaty. This guy's going to head this direction. We'll just keep him safe ground. Probably have to, but all right. So now we have 3-masted ships. We can move our units through water without them dying. Now we're going to just text straight to Patronage, because that's a really good one. Obviously, if you need city cap, supply lines is going to get you to that, plus thoroughfares is going to get your road movement up. You've got further science stuff if you stay on the top of the tree, which is pretty standard. You've got some money things that are great here. And again, on the south part of the tree, the bottom part of the tree, you've got most of your military stuff. This is pretty standard throughout the game. And so if you're looking at waging war, our special unit is here. I really think we probably should go after that. We're going to go after the luxury manufacturers first. Then we're going to tech this way to see if we need to up some of our units for the little fight we have about to come down against the Free Peoples. So that is the current plan. We now have enough patrons to sign a new treaty, so we're going to do that. 3 trade routes blocked, which is not great. Don't love to see that. Let's go over to our Free People since we got that message. And we'll check. So Burley has 84 patronage into these Free People. So we're trying to catch Burley with them. Let us entreat with them. Plus 1 influence on your ideological axis. So that would get us kinship pretty high. And plus 34 money. I want to try this one, actually. Plus 1 influence of your ideological position on their doctorate axis per turn. I'm just interested in seeing what this does. How this kind of affects things. Because I think that means that stuff would be cheaper to do with them because our kinship would be higher. Now, our kinship is pretty decent. So let's actually read this. To increase your ideological proximity, you can either change your own empire's ideology through event choices or gradually change this people's ideology by signing the cultural export or client state treaty with them. So that's what we're going to do, is the cultural export. So treaty costs are low. So this is what impacts treaty costs. It doesn't seem like it would get any lower. It looks like this is in tiers. So this is going to cost the most. In the middle is going to cost a middle amount. And then we're already in the cheapest one. So I'm not actually sure it would be of our benefit to move them even closer because I know we're close, but we're already in the cheapest area. Again, let me know in the comments if that's correct. I think it is, that it's just 3 sections. I don't know if getting all the way up to here is going to do anything further for us as far as making any of those costs cheaper. We could test it, but we might as well just take profit sharing at this point. It's not very much money, but we'll sign another treaty and kind of move in that direction. Interested to see how that turns out. Obviously, Burley could steal these guys away from us, which would be bad. We need to be pouring everything into that to try to, which we are, to try to catch up in assimilating them as quickly as possible with those patrons. Patronage is Patronage. All right, let's move these guys in. We can start our war kind of whenever we want because we're already in the early modern. Obviously, we're going to test. We need to test to see what their units are like. If their units are weaker than ours, then we really don't need to wait for an upgrade. If they're, you know, starting to pressure us from a technological standpoint, which I doubt they are, but just in case they are, we're just going to be aware of that. So we're going to kind of test the waters a little bit, see what kind of units they have. And if they look like we need to upgrade our units, then we can always do that. Okay, so now we have initiated a large fight. Do we want to take this fight? Let's take a look at the battle. So we have our reinforcing army is there. So we have both of our armies in the fight, and they are coming at us with archers. So they are attacking. So this is going to hurt a small amount. They have a couple crossbowmen and a couple knights. So they are knights actually I think are the equivalent of our guys, right? So their knights are 26 attack. Our militites, which are 42. So not really. We definitely have the advantage here. We're just going to have to withstand the initial ranged barrage. So I think this is a fight that we can take. Obviously, them attacking, like we've discussed before, is advantageous to them because they have ranged units. If you don't have ranged units, defending is great because you can let them run into you first. You take the defensive bonus, and then you can kind of attack them when they're already damaged. However, attacking when you have ranged units is highly beneficial because you get all of those kind of free, if you will, attacks in first from a range standpoint before they can even attack you. Hugely beneficial when you have those ranged units to get those attacks out early. Well, let's see how this turns out for us. I think we'll run this fight, and that's why we're here, right? We're here to get military stars, and so we're here to get unit kills. So let's go ahead and run this fight. All right, where do we want to start? We can run up here. So we don't want to put anyone back here necessarily. These archers are probably fine here. I'd love to get the archers up to here, but we don't want to put them in a predicament where they die, those crossbowmen. So I think we'll stick with what they've given us here. Let's see, make sure we have, so let's end deployment. Alright, so yeah, their archers are not going to do a terrible amount of damage to us. In fact, no, not much. And they're actually spreading out. Their knights are definitely what we're worried about. We can actually kind of let their archers do their thing because their archers are... that one did some damage, but I think we can focus our archers on a different group. They can't even reach. Okay, so that's unfortunate. So we need to get these archers into a different position. We can't shoot them. Let's take a look at to get rid of these crossbowmen altogether with these horses and then free up this spot for another unit to move to, which is kind of what we want. Except I don't think we can actually open it up this particular time. But let's take out a unit. That's actually a downwards attack on these knights, which is pretty nice. Let's set us up for a kill on these knights. It's not actually going to change my mind, and I'm going to attack these knights. Can't get these guys into the fight unless I get a kill on this knight, so we're going to do that. That will actually allow us to bring this unit around, and we can kill either these archers or the crossbowmen. We can damage heavily. I think we'll just take the archers out of the fight. They can't damage us. And I don't want to run this attack. I would prefer for these guys just to stay here. And we could move our archers here. Actually be able to shoot here. Yes, we can. Perfect. We'll get a shot off on... And by archers, I mean, of course, our crossbow. These guys are just going to defend. So we're just going to end round. They will defend. Take some shots. Eventually, all of these archers are going to cause a problem for us. But once we get rid of their decent units, we can run through the archers very quickly. Oh, we never added our reinforcements in. That was very foolish. Highly foolish. Okay, let's grab our crossbowmen. I know there's a way to grab the reinforcement. But we already moved this guy. So this guy, we can take this guy. He's damaged. We can actually move him back. Replace him with this guy. Add in our next unit. and bring him alongside for expensive abilities. Add in next guy. And make sure we can get our archers. Is there a crossbow mode? We actually shoot just from right here, which is perfectly fine with me, so shot. These crossbows are also going to shoot that group. Good free stuff to make this attack here. Eliminate the last knights, which is great. And then we could, next turn, we'll move someone into high ground. This unit is pretty damaged. I'd actually like them not to die. So what we're going to do is put them back here.
Yes, sir.
This unit is probably fine right now. We should be able to get these crossbow horses. And this unit is pretty damaged. So the question is, do we want to put him in a bad position? I don't think they have many units left, just a few archers. But I don't like the idea of risking him, so I think we'll just move him back as well. Let them move their archers into a worse position. Like, we're taking 3 and 1 damage from those archers, so we're not really concerned with those levels of attack. We're going to come up here. We should be able to go here.
To arms!
Shot. These guys can't actually shoot. I don't think they could shoot. Well, they can move over here and take the shoot. No. I want to try to move our fresh units in as far as possible. So we could actually run this attack. Finally.
Attack!
These guys can run up here close to an attack. I think.
Keep up the pace.
Might even be able to run this.
Give us.
And I think that these militants are problem. So I think we run them here. We should. Well,
Give us.
we are close to winning this fight. I think we just can back these guys off one.
Stay together.
You guys all position and around. And that will continue next time. It looks like they only have 2 more units that we can see anyway, so should be able to finish that fight up. Here's our swordsmen, who actually need to be upgraded again, but we'll get them across the ocean and look for that upgrade if we can. Our boat is headed for our land, so I'm just going to tech them to there. I'm going to path them to there. Here is our other unit. We're going to go ahead and run them up here. Them up to the army. Again, we don't really need to check trade right now because we just did, and we are working on building our wonders. I'm going to kind of sit those as well. And grievances, so probably all cultural or religious based. Just going to close those. We don't find them developing. This guy is going to cross Burley's land, and we're going to see if we have the right treaty. We do. We have the right treaty to be able to upgrade him. So, boom, great swordsman. And we will send him probably... Oh, man, look at this mountain range right here. That is an epic mountain range. So, we're probably not going to send him alone through this land. So, we probably want to send him south and have him join up with our armies over here and get that done. Open our fight here. Where the rest of these guys are. I think they were up here. Oh, they're actually up here.
That's not possible. Get moving. To arms.
And that fight. Yep. 9 units lost. We didn't lose a single unit. We strategically played that very well. They were very low units anyway. We'll probably want to heal up, though, before we run our attack. I think we can heal faster if we jumped over to Burley's land, but we're kind of far away from that right now, so we might just hang out and see how much healing we can get done here. Although we could pay for healing, which is something you can do in this game if we get into an ally's territory. We might think about trying that. Just moving this direction. Actually want that spot. This is going to move ready. I guess we could technically combo these guys. And then we can actually pay to upgrade this guy, and they can just kind of escort. Well, okay. Alright, we'll end turn again. also cranking on Machu Picchu in our cities. Uh-oh. This looks like a big turn. Something has occurred that has popped up a lot of stuff. 53 trade routes have been blocked. Is that a war declaration on me? Yeah, I don't know if I've seen a number like that before. 53 trade routes have just been blocked. To, like, everyone. Okay, let's see what happened. Nox has done something to get Trader. An alliance has been made between Nox and Burley. We have a downgraded treaty with Plosive. We have a downgraded treaty with Icarus. Icarus has forgiven a grievance because his religion is spreading. What happened to the 53 trade routes? What caused this block?
Yes, I suppose I have time, but I bore easily.
Did they downgrade my treaty? No, we're still allied with Nox. I don't understand.
This proposition should be...
So something is occurring that is blocked. Who is at war with who right now? Something is blocking a substantial amount of trade routes coming out of here. Maybe like if Icarus was waging war somewhere in here, but no one is fighting on this continent. I'm fighting up here that shouldn't affect any trade routes. I wonder, Nox and Burley just signed an alliance, so it shouldn't be anything, should not be anything related to that. A lot of trade routes that just got blocked. I don't quite know where a war would have occurred that would have caused this to happen. Anyway, I guess we'll find out, potentially, as we play. We might not, though. Okay, these guys are not very hurt, but I do want to test out, because Burley's land is just right here. If we drop these units back, do we have the right treaty with Burley to be able to... Yeah, we can pay for healing. So we're going to pay for healing here. We have a bunch of gold. These guys can heal themselves. Just tell them to heal. The other guys that are more damaged will pay for the healing again. Is that the most accurate mechanic? Probably. That one I think is questionable. The whole healing capability. Where you just buy healing. I suppose if you are paying more, you'd get better care for your troops or something like that. That would... It feels good and bad at the same time, if you know what I mean. I'm not thoroughly convinced of that one. Oh, we got this guy upgraded, so actually... we can actually just move this unit here. We just want to do that with him. And then this cog now technically can just be sailing all over the place. Might even set them for auto-explore here relatively shortly. Alright, Corral should be within a couple... Oh, actually Corral's actually working Machu Picchu. That's right. So we have everything queued up extensively in our cities. So we just need to pay attention to what is happening kind of food-wise. Actually, we got a huge food boost when we put that in. That was enormous, actually. So we have to keep in mind how powerful those districts are and that their food doesn't seem to... It's crazy because we put in a 27 food farmer's quarter, but ended up with a gargantuan amount of food from that. I don't think anything else changed. But that got huge boosts apparently to some of our other tiles probably. Is what I'm assuming, because that number is significantly higher than the 27 food district that we put in. So I will have to see. I also want to see what happens to our food when Machu Picchu is done. So I guess we just look at our capital for that. We're at a 75 excess. It's going to go down. So we'll keep an eye on that because I want to see how big that food distribution is going to get. It could get pretty intense. All right, so these guys are now fully healed, so they're ready to go. These guys are going to jump into Burley's land as well, and we should just be able to pay. We have tons of gold. We're literally just going to pay to heal all of them. And you'll see the cost goes up the more damaged they are, down if they're more healthy. But then we're fully healed, and we could actually probably go run back in. This army is a 5 stack, so we're just... Oh, but we were selecting a unit, so we'll just go ahead and combine them together again. These guys kind of wait for this guy to come, and then they'll come in after. So we'll just have them wait a moment. This guy is going to come down this way and join up with our armies. We're starting to get some veterancy as well. 3 more trade routes blocked as a result of some action that somebody took. Ambush at zoo. Your population's core support against King Early Gamer increased by 5. Ambush. Oh, I can reinforce the Burly Gamer in battle? What that?
An ambush has begun. Look sharp. You're the one under attack.
Oh. Oh. Oh, Burly just fended off a big attack. Interesting. I did not commit my unit to that. Or I guess I did, because my unit was in their city. I don't know. I don't know what actually happened right here. Is it because I'm in their city? I'm not sure what happened here, to be honest. That was odd. Alright, what do I want to do with this guy? I would just send him into the open ocean, maybe do a little fog busting. I mean, there is potential for curiosity still in the ocean, but it's pretty rare at this point, and so we could probably just set him to auto-explore on one of these next turns. Alright, Machu Picchu's almost done, I think, which will be interesting. Actually, it is finished.
Machu Picchu could be
Just want
described
fame?
as an imperial center for an empire that cares deeply about agriculture and has no fear of heights.
27 more trade routes blocked? Ah, here is a war that could be impacting that. So Icarus and Plosive have declared war on each other. That is interesting. We'll go check out what that's doing. That is going to cause us probably some problems. And Huatu is now about to lose population, so we want to keep an eye on what they are doing. We want to move these guys in too far. Get them in like a high ground position. Just have them hold. These guys are going to wait for this guy to join with them. I don't know what that ambush thing that happened over here was. Let me know in the comments if you know what that was about. We're still taking damage in deep water, so you do want to be careful about that. Okay, we have some holy sites we could build, which might be interesting. This particular city has flush with food, and that could be as a result of Machu Picchu. So we had 75 extra food in our capital last turn. I'm very interested to see if the food situation has changed. Although Huatu says they were going into a state of starvation, so I'm not sure what the food situation is over there. We'll check in a second. I do think we should start getting our Jama Masjids in, because that will buff our production a great deal. It's production's okay right now. 295 is not terrible. I've seen it much higher at this point in the game, so I think we do want to put these in. That is a lovely 48 production right there. I am more than happy with that, so let's go ahead and get it in. We'll start building those. Obviously, we could take a look at infrastructures as well, and we should. But I think that we want to do that. Let's go and double check a couple things. So, yeah, 297 food now. We had plus 75. Our Machu Picchu food distribution from the city of Nemosos. City of Nemosos has 126 food. All of the food being produced in the city is now 50% of that food is being distributed out to our other places. Once the scriptoriums are done here, we are going to focus pretty hard on food production out of this city. It's basically become now the breadbasket for our empire with that particular enactment of the triumvirate of Angkor Wat, the Notre Dame, and Machu Picchu, which we ended up putting over here. So there's Machu Picchu. Beautiful looking single mountain tile. Lovely. And so that is producing food for all of our empire, which is actually hugely potent. So let's go ahead and finish these scriptoriums here, because I think we're sitting pretty there, and we want to get all the scriptoriums in. We're going to let Huatu do the same thing. So Huatu gave me a starvation notice and then went to 239 food. That is the power of that Machu Picchu that we just built. They were starving. I got the notification on this turn, or last turn, that they were starving, and then once Machu Picchu finished, boom, tons of food. Just a lot of food. So we're going to finish those scriptoriums off. We need to get our last holy site in as well. We just want to check where that holy site needs to go. We've got a holy site here. We've got a couple on this coast. We could put one up here. Oh, we don't own that land. We could put one... We put another one maybe up on one of these islands. Not a bad idea. Stick one up in there. We could also save that holy site for our new city over here. That might actually be an interesting thing to do. So let's hold it for now. Oh, we could claim another one. We should have claimed. Okay, Nox is now feeling appeasing towards me, so that's fine. Let's go and claim another wonder. I think that having St. Basil's in that same city is going to increase our food production by even more. So I think I'm going to claim Basil's. I'm not going to build it immediately, although claiming wonders, obviously you've seen 200 fame is huge. So building wonders is a huge fame gain in this particular, in Humankind. So you do want to build wonders whenever you can. So that's something to think about. But we have a huge fame lead in this particular game, so I'm not really worried about that. I think that we're gonna cruise pretty nicely when it comes to that. Did these guys get moved? I thought I'd moved them over here already. Okay, we'll have them wait here until this army can join up with them. So we'll just have this guy's gonna come around, and we want to check where we are here. We are close. We're at 84%. We're about to overtake Burley, so that's important because that means we will get to the assimilation stage faster, hopefully, than Burley. So we'll be able to assimilate that city when we are ready. I just think we should put this cog on Auto Explorer. Let's switch him to Auto Explorer. Once the map is pretty much revealed and we're this late, like early modern era, I'm just gonna set most of my ships to Auto Explorer so that I don't have to manage them anymore. Again, the map
great
is,
mausoleum
the map
has been built.
pretty much
Perhaps the
explored,
next
and we're
question
not going to
is,
find
whose body goes
a
inside?
lot of different things, curiosities on the map at this stage of the game either. So I think our best bet is just Auto Explorer with I think it's our only boat, to be honest. So we'll just set the boat to Auto Explorer, see if they pick up any curiosities. That's great. If not, they're just kind of sailing the seas. But we don't have to worry about them anymore, right? Okay, Barcius has finished their first Jama Masjid, so we want to go ahead and just continue to get these in. I'd like to not... Remember how with the Franks, we ended up having to one-turn build all of those scriptoriums? I'd like to not end up in that situation again, so I think we're going to go ahead and put in our special unique districts right now, because I think that's just the best case scenario. We've got multiple spots that are good. These are 39s, actually, so... Not opposed to doing that. What is this? Oh, that's our scriptorium. So technically we'd want to put... we're not going to be that picky. Technically you'd want to put research quarters there. I'm not going to be that picky about it. I think it's going to be just perfectly fine if we just put our Jama Masjid there. So let's just do it. And we can turn... I think we can squeeze one. Let's skip it. All right. Patronage has been researched. That's going to take us a little bit of time, so see what happens with that. We have more growth. We're not going to run this attack this time, so I might save this, because we might implement this attack at the start of the next episode. So let's move everyone kind of into positions of advantage. Up the hill. This guy up on the hill. We'll kind of move them in to be able to surround the city. Should be able to take it next turn pretty quickly. This guy can actually probably end up getting close to joining in on the fight. I think we should be able to enter this territory. Fine. Where did I just send him? Okay, Nemosos is our food-producing city. Again, before we focus on the food... Oh, here we go. So we have gold saved up. We're going to start buying out all of our manufactories. So let's get our manufactories in. So silk manufactory. Boom. Replace that. Yep. We're going to buy in as many of these as possible. Should we put them all in one city? Probably not, but we're not going to be overly concerned with that at this point. Nemosos is going to have just a slew of just good stuff as far as stability is concerned. We're not really concerned about that because of our trade relationships right now, although with all those blocked trade routes, it could become a problem. All right, let's get this placed. That looks like a wonderful spot for it. We'll go ahead and do that. Sounds good. Riches, far shores. Rejoice! Word has arrived that your bravest, most intrepid sailors have crossed wild seas and discovered an entire new continent full of riches. That's true. With wealthy individuals ready to patronize more expeditions to take advantage of this newfound natural wealth, it is time for you to ask yourself how you wish to secure the resources needed to power your great empire. Let's take a look at this really quick, because we could implement it. Plus 30 war support, increase when declaring war on relations, minus 20 resource deposit access without having tried it. So this is actually a decent one to take. We'll see if we want to implement that. We'll talk about that this next time, I think. I'm not going to implement it this time. Sometimes that is helpful, but I don't think it will be particularly helpful to us this time. Let's click on each of our cities and look to see if we're going to put manufactories in all over the place. And it's going to be the plan. Buy out every manufacturer we can. Get spendy. You can see 814 is our cost. We have saved up a lot of gold specifically for this purpose. So we're just going to put all of these in. There is this way up there. Perfect. In. This is where all of our trade is also coming into play. We're basically going to claim every luxury manufactory on the planet, which is a little bit ridiculous. But that's pretty much what we're doing here. We're going to let them finish their scriptoriums otherwise. But let's go ahead and check the rest of these. One. Okay. This out here. That is all they can afford. Scriptoriums right now. We're going to check our capital for that as well. Several we can put in capital. There. Matter of locating them. Perfect. That gets us Builder Star, which is obviously very nice. And then I think we did that in Nemosos already. Let's double check if we did it. Buy that one out. Perfect. That's probably pretty much all of them on the map. We just put in a bunch of those. That's a huge benefit to us. So that's a big time move that we were able to pull off right there. Let's choose our next tech. So we got all the way to Patronage. At Patronage, we put in all of our things, which is wonderful. I think just because we are doing a war, I'd like to go get our Gajnals. It would just make us run through people. We're also about to get a new city, so supply lines would be nice, but we're not struggling on influence. Let's tech the siege cannons. We'll get these Gajnals out if we need them. Then we'll probably move and we'll probably start hard focusing science and start teching towards our win condition, which is going to be the space race. So we can start even thinking now about our end condition and really buffing our science up so we can get to that as quickly as possible. That looks like it. We're well on our way, getting some military stars, hopefully, as we wage the wars across these two lands. We're going to get some more military also when we assimilate these three peoples, and we are close to being able to do that, just a couple turns away. So that's going to be exciting. We'll get another city on the map on another continent, which is going to be great. We're cruising in this game. We are cruising in this game. So that will do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, be sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you're, make sure to also subscribe to the channel for further content on this Let's Play Humankind series. Next Sunday will be our next set of content for it. I'm looking forward to finishing this game up. I think we're at the point where we're ready to kind of beeline and tech all the way out to our win condition, which is going to be building those the space race buildings. I'll show you how we optimize that. You can actually get a pretty quick win if you do it the right way, and so we'll talk about that as we get into that portion of it. Obviously, we're still in the early modern, but I think we do have to start thinking about that because we have such a large fame lead. We just want to kind of beeline to a victory. So that'll be our plan over the next couple of episodes as we get rolling. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.